just hiked to my favourite place in the whole wide world. I've got a pack, it's about 20 kilos, loads of gear, loads of fun stuff, and unfortunately I have just had a chat with a really nice guy who has informed me that this entire forest is about to get the chop. It hits quite close to home because obviously I know the channel's not been going for very long, but I have actually been coming to this area for about 5 years now. I've got a couple of videos of me, and obviously I've brought friends up here and I've spent a lot of time up here, so obviously I've come up to spend a couple of nights, and to just be told that the whole place is getting the chop it hits close to home. I'll show you guys a little bit of what I've got with me. So the reason the bag is so heavy is because all my gear is kind of cheap, and obviously expensive stuff is like the super ultralight stuff. But I've never really cared for the ultralight. Like, I'm strong enough to carry the gear, so it doesn't really matter how much it weighs. But yeah, so for this trip I've brought my hammock with me and a tarp, and I've also got a sort of my ground sheet and things like that, just in case I can't find a suitable set of trees for the hammock. So all of this forest in here, as you can see, this is all super unsafe. So I used to have a semi-permanent shelter just here, but obviously that log is like right where it was, so it's a good job I wasn't up here. Even if I wanted to try and put a shelter here again, I can't, because all of this makes it unsafe. See, all of this has all come down as well. It's a good bit of firewood there, but I reckon I'm probably going to end up somewhere in here. Just gonna make sure that there's nothing hazardous. I do have a fire pit with me, just because obviously this is all like super flammable. I was gonna have a fire out on the rocks and then just string my hammock up in here and that be that, but I might end up having a fire. If it rains, I might end up having to bring the fire underneath the top. So I'm actually quite short, so I can't really have this up very high at all, because otherwise I can't get out of it. So just make sure that it's secure, and then I'll go and grab my pack and set the rest of the shelter up. So I didn't get it on camera. I just lit a really quick fire so that I can start smoking the area, because even though I've got insect repellent on, the bugs are like hovering this close to me, like they're like waiting to get me. So smoke is a good deterrent, so I'm just smoking myself up. And there was me thinking that he wasn't going to start cutting the forest down until maybe Monday, but sounds like he's about to start. I'm just going to make a button using a pine cone. You just put the pine cone in, give the top a wee twist, and then you can use a marlin spike hitch knot to just tie that in place. And then now you've got a little taut point for your top. So this is a one tigress 3-season hammock quilt. This is a brand new piece of kit. If you're a long-term subscriber, you'll know that this isn't my forte, hammock camping. So I thought I'd come out and try something new. This is also my first trip out since I got ill. But unfortunately, I was hoping that this would be a nice, leisurely, calm, peaceful trip, but obviously the sad news from hearing that the forest is going to get cut down has obviously put a damper on things. But I'm still having a good time. I went out for the day to test how warm this underquilt was, and I don't actually know if I need a sleeping pad as well. Obviously I bought one with me just in case, but I'm not really, like, this is going to be my second hammock camp, and the first one I didn't have an underquilt and I was freezing, so I'm hoping that this underquilt will be enough by itself. I'll just give you a quick camp tour. So this is the hammock. For anyone that's interested, we've got a Cavordia, just a cheap 20 quid hammock. One tigress hammock quilt, that was 40 quid. My old fire pit, if you're a long-term subscriber, you'll know that I've got one that's double the size, which is new. This is an old one. My poncho, that comes everywhere with me. And then I've got exactly the same tarp that I always use. This is just secured with some Prosecks at either end. And then I've also tied the wings to adjacent trees just because the trees were available. So we've just got ourselves in the hammock. And I think that a larger quilt, like a larger underquilt, would be good because I've got a lot of sort of fabric here that's just sort of flapping about. That side's quite tight. I'm wondering if it's just because I'm not level. I think this is going to go on the list of things that might annoy me in the night, but I'm sure I'll cope. So this side here is super duper flappy. This side's okay, but the wind seems to keep changing direction and sort of coming down this little hill section here, so I'm gonna drop that side down, right down as low as I can, just to give me a bit more protection. So I've just checked the forecast and it says rain, 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 so I'm actually not gonna light a fire over there. I'm going to just have a small one to boil my water under the tarp, just in case it rains on me and then I have to make a mad dash. I do have a jacket, but I don't want to have to leave all my food and everything out there, so I'm going to just make the fire here. And remember, this does not need to be a massive fire because we're in a woodland that is super flammable. So it has just started raining, but if you are not new to the outdoors and this channel, then you'll know already. Or even if you are a camper yourself, or you do bushcraft skills yourself, you'll know that resin burns even when it's wet, and forests like this are full of it. So you're just going to keep that in mind. Now, for dinner, I've got some noodles. I've not really seen anything good forageable. There was some pineapple weed over there, but it was a little bit too close to the path to be actually picking. So I'm just gonna have noodles. And to go with my noodles, I've also got myself chocolate. And I've got marshmallows as well, but I don't fancy the marshmallows. In case any of you are wondering, I am well enough now to be outside, but I'm still not quite 100%. But if you're a long-term subscriber, you'll know I'm not 100% because I've not jumped on the marshmallows immediately. But yeah, I've still got a sore tummy. Turns out that it actually was not a illness. It wasn't a pathogen from the water that I was swimming in. It was actually food poisoning. My sample came back and the GP told me it was a bacteria called Campylobacter, which is really commonly found in raw chicken. So it wasn't actually the trip that made me ill, it was the meal that I had afterwards when I returned to civilization. You can find Campylobacter in contaminated waterways, but it's more commonly found in raw chicken. So just in case anybody was wondering, that's why I was away for so long and not very well. But it can take up to 7 weeks to fully recover, and if you're immunocompromised or you have other underlying health conditions like I do, then it can take a little bit longer. But either way, I'm here, I'm in the woods, and it's nice to be back. So that's dinner, and about a litre of water there as well, so this fire can just die down now. Just gonna have a quick look around, see if I can scout some more dry tinder material before the rain really comes down. All of this, all these rushes, these are an excellent tinder. They need a little bit of preparation. You need to really break them up, buff them up in your hands, and they need to be absolutely dry, 100%. So some of this maybe combined with some of the finer grasses, maybe that stump over here. Yeah, that grass looks good. This will hopefully pretty much guarantee us our next fire. There we go. Probably hear the wind's picking up. I'm hoping we don't have a full-blown storm because I didn't prepare for a full-blown storm. It's starting to rain again. It's about 9:30, so I've gotten changed and I've got my torch out and all that stuff. Got my thermals on and I've got a fleece as well. I've decided that I'm going to do it without the sleeping pad because I really don't think it's going to be necessary. Yeah, no, I feel like it's warm enough with just the underquilt. The sun's going to set in about 20 minutes. And I was up at 6 AM this morning, so I'm quite tired. But it feels good to finally get back out here. Feels like it's been ages. Well, I've just gone to use my torch and my filming panel light thing, and they both have no charge in them. So the only light I have is my phone torch, which is not very good, and the fire. It's my own fault. I should have double checked them. I think the panel has maybe turned on by itself in my bag or something, because I could have sworn that I charged them all up to full. But that's alright. You'll just have to see my face in the light of the fire, as opposed to the nice photography light that makes everything easy to see. One really good thing about the rain is that if you're in a tub, it makes refilling your water super easy. So you can just place it in the stream. As I'm sure you can hear, it's quite the storm, but it's almost midnight, so I'm going to stoke this fire up a little bit and tuck myself in the hammock. It's really hard to do this without any form of torch or anything at all. That wind is absolutely howling as well. Alright, the fire is on its last legs. That'll be dead soon. So I'm gonna call it a night here. And yeah, I'll see you in the morning, guys. Oh, good morning, good morning. The rain has stopped and we have managed to collect an entire litre of water, a whole litre of water from the storm last night. So that's good. It means I don't have to go and get water out of the pond over there. Check the forecast. It says it's going to rain on and off all day today. So this has become a very wet and rainy trip, but that's all right, I don't mind. We also managed to get some water in here as well. What's that? About 500 millilitres. So we've collected plenty of water for the day. It's so humid and damp. You can hear them cutting the trees down over there, which is a big shame. But
like the guy said, they've reached their 40-year-old maturity, like harvest maturity, so they're all, whole forest has been cut down. Even this bit here where I am, where I'm chilling now, this is all going to get cut down as well, the whole thing. It's a big shame really, because it's a beautiful place. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's actually making me really, really upset sitting here and trying to have a good time and trying to film and just listening to them cut the forest down, because I understand that obviously this is a private woodland and it has a management plan, and you know, this is all basically, it's a timber farm, you know, it's a timber farm. But I've been coming up here for 5 years and it's a shame because it's become more than just a timber farm to me. It's become a place of refuge, and like it's become like a lifeline. This has been one of those places that I used to come all the time, you know, when I was struggling, and it's just, there's so many stories I could tell about this place. You know, I've been here through storms, you know, -5. I've been here in hot summers and swam in the little pool. Like, I've had such an enriching experience spending time in this wood. And for the sake of, you know, what, 3 million quid this is probably worth to somebody, I just think that, yes, I understand that it's private, and yes, I appreciate that there's not really anything I can do about it. You know, the machine's here, the order's been passed, but it's not just 3 million quid worth of timber, it's an ecosystem, it's a life force, it's a community, and it's a safe place for birds, you know, for animals and insects and mushrooms and people like me. It's a safe place. So I was supposed to be up here for a couple of days. You know, I've had the thumbs up to be up here for a couple of days, but it's becoming very difficult. So I might pack up and go home, because as much as I want to spend a good bit of time sitting in this woods, and as much as I want to, you know, have like a nice experience here and, you know, say goodbye to it, it hurts. It really hurts. And I get comments sometimes. Sometimes I get comments about, you know, I'm not very good at bushcraft or whatever, and I don't actually, like, I'm not worried about being good at bushcraft. I'm not worried about having every single survival skill. I'm not worried about the difference between wild camping and bushcraft and survival and primitive skills, because I love all of it. But the thing that I love the most is just being outside and spending time in nature, and it's painful to sit here and watch your favourite place be destroyed. Sorry guys. So yeah, I love it here, and I want to make the most of the fact that I'm here and, you know, sit by the water one more time and like put my hand on my favourite tree one more time. But I think it's probably time to go home. And I'm sure there'll be somebody that says it's just a tree, it's just a forest, you know, I'm sure there will be those comments. But to me, it's not just another bit of woods. To me, it's a beautiful bit of woods. That's me all packed up. I'm just gonna go say one last goodbye to the waterhole. Well, I'm sorry that this has not been a typical video. This has been quite an emotional video. This is the last time I'll be able to come here. This is the last time I'll be able to camp here or do any kind of skills. This has been a very beautiful place, and this is the place that kind of made me realise that I definitely wanted to do more things outdoors. I've been coming here for 5 years, and unfortunately good things can come to an end. Not all good things come to an end, but some do. So this is one of those good things that had to come to an end, and I am very upset about it, but ultimately in this particular instance there's nothing I can do. They've been cutting and chopping since 6 or 7 a.m, something silly like that. I remember waking up and thinking, what's going on? And I've had the thumbs up to be here, obviously, until the chopping sort of comes around to the area that I was in, but it's too emotional for me to sit here trying to have a peaceful time in the woods and listen to the machine. This woods, that's it basically. This is a 40-plus-year-old woodland, and it's all going for commercial timber. Yeah, this has made me realise that actually I want my own woodland, because if I've got my own woodland then I could protect it and keep it safe.
And it's not just the trees, it's like I know that there's a herd of deer that bed in the woods over there where they've just started chopping, because I've seen the beds myself. There's so many birds and insects, and this water is full of frogs and newts, and so it's not just the trees, it's an entire ecosystem that is basically going to be destroyed for profit. I have a couple of videos on my channel of this place sort of in its prime, so I will leave links to those videos in the description below, so please go and watch those videos. And yeah, RIP, basically RIP the woods. But anyway, if you've made it to the end of this video, thanks for watching, you're an absolute star. I promise the next one won't be emotional. I know it can be a bit tiring, you know, watching somebody cry over a bit of woods, but you know, this stuff, it's important to me, so yeah. But anyway, if you'd like to see more videos from me, then be sure to like, subscribe, leave me a little comment, let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see. I've got plenty of camping videos, and like I said, I've got videos of me in this woodland, so I'll leave those in the description below. Be sure to go and check those out, I'm sure you'll enjoy them. And yeah, the search for a new stomping ground continues. So until then, yeah, I'll see you guys in the woods. I'll see you in a new woods. I'll find a brand new woods. It's very sad. But yeah, anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the woods.